is the Next Level Loan Officers podcast. To learn more about Next Level Loan Officers, go to becomnl.com.
Hey, this is Frazier with Lead Pops and Next Level, and I'm proud to present this episode of the Next Level Loan Officers podcast. Lead Pops is the industry's only future-proof growth solution. You can check us out at leadpops.com.
Hello, and welcome to the Next Level Loan Officers podcast. I am Sean Zalmanoff, joined by the illustrious, the one, the only Kellen Vaughn. Kellen, how are you today?
Man, I'm doing great, Sean. And you failed to mention, although you might be about to say it.
I was just going to come in and say that after.
Well, let me say it because it's so true.
It's true.
The number one podcast for loan officers by loan officers in all of the universe. I don't know if you knew that, but that's it, man. It's crazy.
You know,
honored to be here with you today.
It's been a fun 5 years of building this venture, and looking forward in just a few weeks to the sixth year of this amazing community getting kicked off. And, you know, it was a place like this, about a decade ago that you and I met. KT and I met a few years before that. Shane got introduced to us afterwards. You know, we found our tribe of people that really made us better, that we plugged into, and that really just changed the game for us, how we ran our business. And then that kind of led us to being like, man, it'd be really great if we could help other people run their business in a better manner.
Well, you know, I think we get the question all the time from loan officers about like, hey, what drove your success? What do you guys do that's so different? Why are you not panicking? What are you doing to grow your business? How did you build your teams? You know, and I often reflect back to exactly what you're talking about, right? And it's getting into community with people who are like-minded, who are willing to lift you up, who are willing to share their ideas, who don't have a scarcity mentality, and who, you know, are there to help make you better. You know, they always say, hey, you are the people you hang around, right? You look at the people that you talk to and network with on a daily basis. That's who you are, and that's who you're going to become. The challenge we have in the mortgage business is that not a lot of loan officers want to share their tactics and things that are working well with the loan officer that's in the desk next to them, right? There's a scarcity mentality there.
And so what they often end up doing is, instead of hanging out with people who they can share with and move the needle in their business, they end up hanging out with their high school buddy who, you know, does great work somewhere, but works on an assembly line, or is works some desk job, and great dude, but, you know, at that point, you're an entrepreneur who just happens to be a desk jockey, because that's all you're doing. That's all the people that you hang out with. And so if you want to move the needle in your business and grow, you got to change that. And man, we created a whole community around that, just in case you don't want to share that with somebody next to you.
Right. You know, and and I can say this, and if you've ever been to a Next Level live event, I have said it there. And that reality is, I'm not 100% sure that I'm in the mortgage business today without the people that I met in that group, without being pushed along, without seeing the other side, without having that sense of community. I'm probably not here today because that's how desperate I was in this business. And some of you that are listening to this are probably in that same spot right now, right? The market has changed. It's created a lot of challenges for most loan officers. And you may be sitting there right now listening to this podcast going, I'm not sure I'm going to make it to next month. I don't know how I'm going to go tell my spouse that I'm not going to make it in this business. And let me tell you this. If that's you, man, I have been there. I have walked in your shoes. I know exactly how you're feeling. And let me tell you that there is a way out. There is an answer. And I promise you that if you will take some time and energy and invest it into yourself, join a community of people, get some guidance, I promise you that you can be on a different path, a different trajectory next month, right? And not sitting here wondering, am I going to make it?
You know what else I can promise you, Kellen? Is that if for the last couple of months you've been sitting here feeling sorry for yourself, wondering what you're going to do, wondering what next month is going to bring, and you do that for these next couple of months, well, and you're not sure how you're going to pay your bills for these next couple of months, you're bleeding a slow and terrible death.
Right.
And I would hate to see that happen because I am so confident. And, one of the things that I get to do for Next Level is I get to put on my nerd hat quite often. It would just go, I'm the cool nerd of the group, and I'm the coolest one of the group, but I also happen to be a nerd. And, you can try to debate that, Kellen, but we know, so does everybody else. And so I get to do this thing called the Market Minute for everybody inside of community twice a week. And I am so confident based upon what I've seen out of the CPI, retail sales numbers, and the language from the Federal Reserve that they have so far blown past what they should have done because they were so late to the party, and they wanted to make sure that they didn't have this massive stagflation creep in, that we are going to slam into this recession, and we're going to see next year. And I can't tell you when, but I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't even by the middle of the year, you're going to see a 4 handle on rates again. Rates are going to be 4 point something, be high 4 point somethings, but I wouldn't be surprised at all if we see that in the first 6 months of the year. Yep. And we are going to have a massive heyday in the mortgage business. Remember, I've been doing this for 20 years. Every time a recession comes, my buddies are like, man, dude, how is it? I'm like, oh, it's okay. It could be better. And I'm killing it. And I would hate to see somebody with a good database who, for some reason or another, wasn't able to save wisely over these last couple of years, that all of a sudden falls out because they don't have the tactic strategies and the right community in place to help them grow their business. When I know what's on the other side of this, we are so close to that, friends.
And I'll say this too, and not to toot our own horn, but we called this. Like, if you go back and listen to our podcast and our coaching calls, a year ago we called this. But enough doom and gloom, Sean. Yeah. Maybe we have your attention now. Maybe you're a loan officer, you're in the car, you're driving to work, you're listening to this at the office, wherever you are, and you're sitting here going, that's me. I've got challenges in this business. I don't want to leave the business. I don't want to disappoint anybody, but I have fears and I need help, and I need things that are going to help me make a splash in the pond that I'm in. That's where we can help you. That's where we are excellent, right? If you're already doing business and you're just needing to do more business, that's where we are experts. And so, let's talk a little. So we get this question all the time. This is why we wanted to do a podcast. And like, people go, man, tell me more about Next Level. Tell me more about the community. I actually don't ever think we've done a podcast actually talking about the group, right? We talk a lot about the strategies that we talk about in the group, but we don't really talk about the group. So let's go behind the scenes for the next couple of minutes and just let us pull a curtain back and talk a little bit about the community and what we do for our members today. So you mentioned, Sean, that you do a call a couple times a week. Yep. But walk us through just the live shows that are part of somebody's membership.
So first of all, even outside of the live shows, you get access to Power 90. Power 90 is ours. Are we patented yet? It might as well be patented. Power 90 is our 90-day season. We walk our groups through every single 90 days with accountability, with ATMs, our actions that matter, that we help you define, decide, and get clarity on exactly what you should be doing in your business. You get to plug into these groups 5 days a week at 1 p.m. Central. Easy to remember, hard to forget. We have a live call. 4 of us owners and sometimes a special guest get together on Mondays for something that we call the lowdown. Tuesdays and Thursdays, I get to update you on the Market Minute. And it's not about me updating you on the Market Minute. we want to prepare as much done for you content as possible. So I give you the market minute. It's usually about 3 minutes, and no comments, Kellen. But so we'll give you the market minute, and it is something
Quick, but it's
that
good, right?
it's good. So, but you can just take literally the words I say,
Yep.
modify them a little bit for your own, and then go brand yourself as the expert in your market. I'll tell you another strategy that I'm doing with it. So sometime before or after I record our market minute, usually earlier, because I like to do mine early in the day and get it out on Facebook, load it up to my business page. I have a big targeted group of realtors, and spend $5 and I just market it for that day to all of my agents. Actually, not just all my agents, every agent I could possibly know. So that way they see me and I get branded as that guy in our market.
So time out, because I want to count these as we go through. So number one strategy right there, you're telling me that a loan officer could just regurgitate your market minute and put out their own content, their own video based on what you talk about that day.
Very, very easily cut.
Okay, so there's number one.
Repeat.
Keep going. Sorry.
On Wednesdays, we have Level Up Live, where one of our coaches, somebody else, great influencer in the industry that we have that we know that can move the needle in your business. So live call every Wednesday, so you can get strategies that will put dollars in your pockets.
So let me talk about Level Up Live, because Shane Kidwell and I did the Level Up Live on Wednesday. That's
a good one
this week. And we had a webinar that we did that had some great people on it, some real influencers, and they were talking about Instagram strategies, really, really good stuff. And so what we did was on that video or on that coaching call, we showed everybody how to take that webinar, download it, chop up the video into a couple of different pieces, and then send it out to their realtor partners as their own strategy. And then what we did at the end is we actually gave it to them. We gave them the video, the footage. All they had to do was go put a front intro on it and literally text it out and email their agents. So again, that's number two. So we've come up with two. We've only been talking here for a few minutes. We've come up with two things that are actionable strategies that are giving you ammunition in front of your agents, right? The number one thing in April, we were in Las Vegas. We did a realtor panel. The number one thing realtors said they wanted from their loan officers was education. Hands down, far and away, that was what they wanted. So far, two things that we've given you that are done for you, educational, that you can repurpose and send out.
And, you know, we glossed over our Monday call, but on Monday calls, it's a show that we have to call the Lowdown. And we take, we have an entire platform that we've created, a digital experience in our community. And so we take questions from the community and we answer those live. So,
that's right.
You know, you get anywhere from low end to more typically 5 different strategies of answering a question from somebody that we make sure will help them in their business. And then on Fridays, we have Shane that leads us. You know, I get to be the market nerd. He is definitely our tech nerd.
Yep.
And he leads us in FinTech Friday. And so either something he's demoing, something that one of our amazing partners or vendors has, or quite often and more than not, something that a person in our community who's crushing it, well, we bring them on and showcase the technology that they're using to move the needle in their world.
So beyond the 5 calls or the 5 live calls that happen each week, within this digital platform, what we call the community, we have just an amazing array of resources for you. So when you come in, there's options to learn more about leadership and development, social media. We go through training camp, which basically takes some, blocking and tackling and puts it back into the loan officer's view so that they can go out and tackle the things that they know, that they need to be doing. Mm-hmm. And then we've got groups in here like the deal room where people can share deals back and forth. We've got our 5 a.m. club for you early risers that want a little morning motivation. We got the broker lifeline. So if you're a broker and you want to talk all things broker, there's a space for you to do that. Leadership for our branch managers, next level faith for those wanting to have that conversation, a marketing channel hosted by our very own Jason Frazier, where he's actually doing a 60-day marketing sprint right now, where he's dropping one marketing tactic a day.
Killing it.
I mean, it is constant activity in there. We've got just coming up, we have a CRM roundtable webinar that we're hosting, where CRMs are one of the biggest things that we talk about, or that come up. People are asking, what should I use? I was using this. I don't like it. We're going to spend a couple hours and do a roundtable where we're going to have 4 or 5 different CRMs represented. People are going to present, show them off. People can ask questions, look around. That's going to be awesome.
A lot of Jono talk inside of there, and a lot of Zoho talk. It seems to be
a lot of stuff. Yeah, and we've got others too. I mean, there's a little bit for everybody. So if you've wanted to kind of see a bunch at one time, that's what we're going to do. We've got a class that one of our members is going to teach on DSCR loans coming up. We've got a class on reverse mortgages coming up. So we have our goal at Next Level is to equip you to go out and get a few more deals. And that's exactly what we want to do. Now, some of you may be listening to this and going, well, I need some very specific help, right, Sean? I've got this specific challenge in my market. I've got a loan partner that if I can't figure out what to get him or her to do, I'm going to have to let them go. My company won't let me build a team. My company won't let me do certain marketing. All of these questions, if you've got questions that are really specific to your situation, what's an option for them, Sean, inside of our group?
Well, you have a la carte coaching. So it's one of the things, we were just a high-end coaching platform before you could just get all this at your fingertips. And guys, you're probably thinking you spend $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 a month for all these things. It's just $197 a month to join and be a part of this. And you can just get in the conversation for $16 a month for $197 a year. You don't get access to all the live calls. It's really a no-brainer for the $197 a month. But if you need some one-on-one coaching, like, man, Kellen is just such a genius, I need some more Kellen to get some specific strategies here, then you can get one-on-one coaching. But instead of making the commitment that you've got to be on a coaching call every single month or 2 times a month and pay a significant amount of money to do that, you just pay as you need it. So you might have an amazing branding strategy that you need help with. And you're like, I need to go to Shane for that. I need Kellen for this. I need KT for that. I need Rebecca to help teach me this. And they're all just at your disposal. Have a call here, a call there, and you just can roll inside of the market with that for yourself.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I'll share quickly a coaching call I did last week, and this gentleman was really struggling with getting some new business. And long story short, we spent the time on the phone, hour, a little over, helping him identify a very specific niche that he is going to now go after. It's a product that he likes to do. It's a product that his company is good at doing, but that not a lot of people do in his market. And it just took that hour-long phone call to figure out what he needed, identify where his opportunities were. Some people, they can see it, but they just can't see it until they get on a coaching call, right? And so we just unpacked all that, man. We put a whole plan in place for him to go out and attack this specific product. And I promise you, it was a 60-minute call, but I guarantee you it changes the trajectory of his business for the next 12 months. It was killer. Even I got off there. I was like, man, that worked out really well. We were able to unpack that and get it implemented and put in place. So things like that, we're here for you to help. In addition, we've got a monthly webinar series. So coming up in January, we're going to be connecting with Rebecca Foote, who's one of our members out of Pennsylvania. And she does a killer program called Agent U that she uses to train her realtors, to provide resources. Again, back to that education piece. She's going to unpack, she's going to pull back the curtain. We're going to spend time on that webinar. She's going to show you everything. Exactly.
You didn't talk about the best part of that though.
Go ahead.
This webinar series that we're starting, this monthly webinar series, it's free.
That's right.
We just want to provide as much value as possible. And so we, at least for the first few months of the year, are not going to have any charge for this webinar series for you to come plug into. And you will be hearing from one of our coaches, somebody who is just killing it, or one of our members who's killing it as well with a strategy that you can jump on, listen to, and then take what they have and cut, paste, and repeat for yourself. Y'all might be listening right now and just wondering, I just need a little bit more. Maybe I want to join Next Level. Maybe there's another community, whatever it is. You need to find your community. You are going to be better for it. If you're looking, you're not sure where to start, you can go to nlstrategycall.com, nlstrategycall.com, and you'll get to jump on with one of our coaches. We'll walk through where you're at in your business, how we can help you, educate you a little bit more about Next Level, and really help bring you to the other side so you can see exactly what will benefit you. And if there's just a little tweak that you need right now, we're happy to provide that as well.
Yeah. And I always like to kind of say this, because I think a lot of people get a little concerned about a strategy call or discovery call. But the reality is it's not a hard sell. Like, that's not the point. The point is to understand a little bit about your business and to see where and if we can be a good fit. And we may not be, right? And that's the reality. There may be somebody that calls in and we go, hey, listen, we're just not a great fit for you. Not sure we can handle what you got. Not sure that we have the resources for what you need. So, and we'll be the first ones to tell you that. But if we are a great fit, we can kind of show you around, show you where the resources are that you need, and get you plugged in. So that's really the whole point of that strategy call. It's not a timeshare presentation or anything like that. It is more around just analyzing and understanding what you need to make sure we're a fit and that you can get what you need out of the Next Level community. Well, listen, Sean, I appreciate you being here today, and everybody listening, right? Like, it's kind of odd us talking a little bit about this because it's not something that we talk about that often. We are usually here dropping crazy strategies, but honestly, this is probably one of the biggest strategies of them all. And the things that you hear us talk about on this podcast, we go even deeper and deeper in behind the doors within our community. So if you like what you hear on this podcast and you haven't checked us out, or you haven't been a part of the community, boy, there is not a better time to get in, get involved, get your head right for the next year, and be ready to take it on. You're going to need a little extra push. You're going to need a little extra accountability. You're going to need a community to do that. We've got all of that for you. So thank you for listening. We appreciate you as loan officer. Sean, thank you so much for being here and allowing me to co-host with you on this podcast, as always.
Peace out, friends. We will see you on the other side.
See ya.